Hi, Kipsters. Today is Friday, May 8th, 2020. The objective today is I can review prefixes and the long O and long U spellings. Kipsters, I want to say what a great job that most of you did on your independent practice yesterday. On Thursday, we analyzed words with the prefix un. A lot of you did really well. It seems like 76% of you were able to identify what a prefix is. Remember, a prefix is a group of letters added to the beginning of a base word. The answer that most Kipsters, the most incorrect answer, but still 67% of Kipsters got correct, was being able to look at a sentence and identify the word that had a prefix un in it. So the sentence read, "It was unclear how Abe hurt his knee." 67% of the second graders who filled out the survey were able to identify that the word unclear had a prefix un in it. But still, very great job, Kipsters, being able to identify prefixes and also just describe the meaning of what prefixes are. So let's preview what today's lesson will be. Today's lesson is a week in review. So we're going to review the topics that we've discussed this week. First, there's going to be a prefix read aloud. Next, we are going to blend words that have the prefixes in them that we discussed this week. And also the spelling patterns of long O and long U. And then I will also describe what your independent practice will be. So I will know who actually watched the phonics video by who actually completes the independent practice that I describe at the end of the video. Let's watch the prefixes read aloud.
Pre and re, mist and dis. What is a prefix? By Brian P. Cleary. Prefixes are word parts that we add onto a word. They're right at the beginning, just like pregame or unheard. These word parts change the meaning of the word to which they're added. Examples might be underclothes, revisit, or unpadded. The root words are the main words, as in padded, visit, close. Prefixes are letters that we see in front of those. Several prefixes will help to show an antonym: happy, unhappy. Im and un, and non, and ill, and dis are some of them. These prefixes show opposites, like disagree, unwell, impossible, illogical. Defrost, untie, misspell. Anti means against, like anti-theft and anti-freeze. The first part means opposing. Are you catching on to these? Other times a prefix serves to give a number clue, like by before a root word, which hints to us there's two. Binoculars have two glass lenses, bicycles two wheels. Bilingual folks two languages to tell us how they feel. Pre before a root word will most often mean before, like preheat and prepayment, preschool, and many more. RE as a prefix often means to do again, as in retype, recalculate, repaint, rebuild, resend. Multi is a prefix too. It means the same as many, like multicolor, multiplex. Can you come up with any? Trans will sometimes mean across. It often hints at movement. He transferred to a transatlantic school and showed improvement. Knowing
Knowing
lots
lots
of
of
prefixes can
prefixes
help
can
you
help
to
you to
decode
decode
so many
so many
words it
words
might
it
just
might just
cause your
cause your
brain to
brain to
overload.
overload.
So,
So,
what is
what
a
is a
prefix?
prefix?
Do you
Do you
know?
know?
Great job, Kipsters. What is a prefix again? You've got it. A prefix are letters or what word part added to the beginning of a root word or base word. Let's begin by blending words that have a long O and long U spelling patterns that we learned earlier in the week. Let's take a look at lines 1 and 2. In lines 1 and 2, there are words that have the long O spelling pattern. Take about 15 seconds to identify the long O spelling pattern in each of these words. Just want to point out that in this word here, there's multiple vowels. So one of these O's is not going to make the long O sound. Okay, if you need more time, pause the video, begin. Second grade, how did you do being able to identify the long O spelling pattern? When I look at this word here, I see just one O. O says O. Don't get confused. This O here makes more of an sound. There's an O and an A, so there's multiple vowels. This is a multisyllabic word. The O in this word that makes a long O sound is here, one single O. Looking at this word, you've got it. OW says O. And in this word here, we've got OA. OA says O. Alrighty, Kipsters. Now that you've identified the spelling pattern, let's try to read all 4 words correctly. I want to point out that here in line 2, this first word, there is a consonant blend. Krr. I also want to point out there's a consonant blend at the beginning of this word. Full. All right, let's try reading these 4 words. Let's start in line 1 and then move down to line 2. Here we go, Kipsters. 1, 2, ready, read. Hotel, potato, crow, float. How did you do reading those words? If you made a mistake, Kipsters, go back and try to read the word again on your own. Now let's look at the words in line 3 and line 4. There are spelling patterns of the long U in line 3 and 4. Take about 10 seconds to identify the spelling pattern in the words in line 3 and line 4. If you need more time, pause the video now. Begin. Alrighty, Kipsters. So first, when I look at the word here in line 3, I see U, consonant E. Did you see that spelling pattern? Awesome. Then you'll also see U, consonant E in this second word. Moving down to line 4, the spelling pattern of long U is EW. EW says U. Kipsters, UE in this word says U. Now let's take a look. I want you to try to decode these 4 words that have the long U spelling pattern on your own. I want to point out that in this word we have an R-controlled vowel, I also want to point out that in this word as well we have re and Take about 15 seconds to read these 4 words in line 3 and 4 on your own, and then we'll practice reading them together. Begin. Alrighty, Kipsters, how did you do? Let's decode these words together. Okay, line 3, the first word is 1, 2, ready, read. Perfume, commute. In line 4, the words are fewer, rescuer. Alrighty, Kipsters, if you made a mistake on any of those words, that's okay. Go back and read them again. Let's blend words that have prefixes dis and un. Let's begin by identifying the base words in line 2. Ready? Begin. Alrighty, Kipsters, when I'm looking at the base words, I need to first identify them and then discuss their meanings. So in the first word in line 2, I see the word trust. Kipsters, what does it mean to trust? It means to believe in something or believe someone. You got it. Connect. Connect means to bring something together. You got it. Please. Please. What does it mean to please? You got it. Alrighty. And then continue, which means you've got it, to keep going. Alrighty. So now that I understand or I discussed the meaning of the 4 words in line 2, now I have to think, what does it mean when I add the prefix dis? So the prefix dis and the prefix un, they both mean not or opposite of. So when I add dis to the words, the base word, trust, connect, please, continue, now I need to think of what does this new word mean? Okay, take about 10 seconds on your own to think about what do these new words mean? How does the prefix dis change the meaning of trust, connect, please, and continue? Okay, Kipsters. So when I add dis to trust, yes, distrust means to not trust. Connect. Connect. When I add dis to connect, that means the opposite of connect, right? So it is now not linked because connect means to link or put together. Please, please, if you are pleased with something, you are happy or satisfied with it. If you are displeased with something, that means the opposite of please. It means you are not pleased. Continue. When you discontinue, yes, it's the opposite of continue. Kipsters, now let's look at the 4 words in line 3. Let's identify the base words and then think about their meaning. Begin. Alrighty, Kipsters, so let's identify those base words. In line 3, we have kind. In line 3, we have written. In line 3, we have fair. In line 3, we have wise. So let's think. If somebody is kind, that means that they are, you got it, they're nice. If something or someone is unkind, that means they are not nice. To be unkind is the opposite of kind. You've got it. What does it mean to be written? You got it. So written is the past participle. It's a past tense of write, but it means to mark on a surface. So if something is unwritten, it is the opposite of written. I mean, it is not written. Okay, fair means just or balanced. If something is unfair, that means it is not fair. You've got it. Wise. Wise means to have knowledge. If something or someone is unwise, that means they are the opposite of wise. Now, Kipsters, let's first start by going through and reading fluently the 4 words in line 2. There are at least 2 multisyllabic words. Alrighty, here we go together. 1, 2, ready, read. Distrust, disconnect, displease, discontinue. Awesome. How did you do? Let's move on to line 3. Here we go together. 1, 2, ready, read. Unkind, unwritten, unfair, unwise. Great job, Kipsters. You've done such a wonderful job reading words with prefixes all week long. Now let's talk about our independent practice. What is your independent practice? Kipsters, I'm sure that there are going to be second graders that don't watch this video all the way through, and they're going to say, Miss McAfee, what is my independent practice? But for all of you Kipsters, all of you second graders, I'm so very proud of you for following directions and watching the video all the way through. Your independent practice today is 2 things. 1, if you can please write in the comment section 1 word that we practiced today when we were blending words. It could be a word that has a prefix un or dis. It has to be a word that we learned and practiced earlier in the video. And you can also write in the comments a word that we learned that has a long U or long O spelling pattern. But it has to be a word that we practiced earlier in this video. And then if you could please spend 15 minutes on Lexia. So again, I will know who watched this phonics video from beginning to end because you will leave me a comment with 1 word, only 1, you only have to choose 1. 1 word, either a word with the prefix un or dis that we learned today, or 1 word that has a long O or long U spelling pattern that we practiced during blending words. 15 minutes of Lexia. Alrighty, Kipsters, have a wonderful, happy Friday and a wonderful weekend. See you soon.